Okay, so this is our project, Handcrafted Haven. And first off, we have me and Sixtus here on the call. And we wanted to start by talking about seller profiles. So this is the screen at the root that you see. You can see we're hosted live on Vercel, and you can sign in and you can go to the register page if you don't already have an account. And you can put in your name. So we'll just do that I haven't used yet. So audrey.welling@gmail.com. Password, you can use any password there. Public name, Audrey, and then we'll put them down as a user. And then we'll put an image URL. So this image URL can come from anywhere. It's what they use to identify them with a picture. So you can just even look at profile picture. And then nowadays, with everyone having links to their social media, they can just do a copy image address and paste it in and then register. You can see user registered successfully, so we can go to login page, save the password, and then we can actually log in. When we get logged in, we go straight into the profile page. So on the same topic, and you get a welcome message, and then you can see either you have the ability to create listings or remove listings, but you'll see because we selected user, it doesn't let us create a listing because only artisans are allowed to create listings. So if we want to create listings or remove and view listings, we actually need to sign out and then sign back in to an email that is artisan, and I believe this one is. So you can see here, this one is. And so we're going to create an email, and then we're using Etsy for a lot of our inspiration. So let's say we wanted to list these flowers. We can go on to the flower. We can copy the image address from Etsy, and then put in flowers, category, decoration, price, $10, flowers and more. And then we can paste the image address that we want to list on that product and we can create it. And now you can see all my products here, including the flowers that we just created. You can click to view the image at any time here, and then we could even delete it. So first things first, I'm going to show you on the page. It's now right here in the list flowers. And if we wanted to, we could search just by flowers alone, or we could just search for items that are $10. So this one, these both have tens, or we can search by things in the description. So if we just search the word more, it also pops up in the description. But if we wanted to go and we could actually go and then remove our flowers, delete, we get a little that it was deleted, and now the flowers are gone. So that's commentary on seller profiles, being able to add descriptions, and then Sixtus, do you want to talk about the product page and the reviews?
That's all right. I'm going to talk about the product page. We have a product page where you can actually click on any of the items on the website, and then you see information about the product. You can see the name of the product. You can see the price, and you can see an add to cart button, which will add the product into the cart. And we also have a small information about the product as well with an image. Then below it, you see reviews that are being added by customers. And can you go back to the cart? To the cart. Let's
Yeah.
go to the cart. Yes. This is a cart page. If the user who was browsing didn't add anything to the cart here will be empty. And if he has products he has added to the cart, they'll all be listed here with the total, and then there's a checkout button which will take the person to buy. But for the purpose of the project, we didn't go further as to implement a payment system for it, so we stopped at the cart. And go back to the product page, please. On the product page, we also have reviews and ratings, which are being left by customers, by users actually, since we have users and artisans who are sellers on the site. You can actually add the title, add the review, and then you submit a review for the product, giving it a rating as well. So when you're looking at the product on the homepage or on the listing page, you can still see the rating as well for the product which has been left on that review page. Uh,
Yeah. And then you can also see who the user is that submitted that. So, this account was Craig. So we can do it. And you have to be signed in order to add a review. So if we try signing out and if we tried adding a review, you can see we must be signed in to add a review. So very good. And then we have this informational section. And this kind of goes into our section about brand. All the branding ties really well together. We chose a color palette that makes sense and is continuous across the board. So they're all work together very well, and it even extends to our um, to the login screens as well as these screens here, and also the cart gets people excited to see the cart and using some of those colors from other places in the software. And then anytime you want to go to the homepage, you can always click on the logo as well. So that's kind of what we have about navigation is we went for a very simple approach. Icons that have accessibility notices about them behind them. So that way you can make sure that everything is accessible. So that way, even if someone couldn't read, they would be able to identify what these icons are. And you can navigate between them effortlessly. Um, so that's as far as navigation goes. And then on the product on this page, you can see the navigation is here as well. So do you want to talk about responsive design?
yes, actually, while designing the site, we actually had to make sure that the styling is responsive, so that on smaller screens we have the images getting smaller and then stacking them all up some part of the application as well. We actually use CSS and Tailwind. There are some CSS styling which are scoped to some of the components, and we also have Tailwind that I use on a global application on the layout files, and we also have a global.css too. But we make sure that all of them are mobile responsive, so that on a smaller screen you can see that it stacks up and contracts, and then the text is large enough also so that you can see them if you're using a mobile device.
Yeah. And also for mobile devices, we made sure the buttons are big enough that they could be pressed with a finger on a phone. So, and then for SEO, we developed with SEO in mind. So, using language that search engines will look for, keeping in mind that people might be searching for things like wedding fans or chairs or phone cases, and that the information is easily readable by a screen reader, as well as making indications of what page we're on. Right now, we're on the home page, and so that's updated in the URL title and adding other descriptions where possible. So um, we used HTML, CSS, and then TypeScript. We did very little with JSX, but we did a lot with TSX. So we learned TypeScript for this project without having prior experience. We used Next.js, including NextAuth, and then we used Node.js and database as well. Um,
Postgres,
Yep, and yeah, we used
Postgres,
Neon.
Neon TV, right? Yeah.
Yep, Neon, and then we had our GitHub repository. So everything we did was on our project. We moved cards along as we're going through the design phase. So we have 30 seconds left. Do you have anything else to add, Sixtus?
Well, for challenges we had actually using Next.js to apply the metadata. Most of those things are generated. So if they are not generated to pass the accessibility test, it's something that I know that we can improve on. But Next.js as a framework has most of all those internals to generate metadata, which is actually what we use in most of the pages to get metadata using the metadata API. That's part of the challenges.
Awesome. Thank you. That's our presentation.
All right.